Actually, my dad. When I was a kid, I lived in New York, and my dad actually did stand-up for about a year. So I got to go to like I think it was the Comedy Cellar, one of the clubs that was down there. So I just thought it was the coolest thing. And years later, I went to open mic, and I was like, I'm funnier than these people. I can do this. And from there, that's how I started. It was horrifying. It was weird because we did Steagles, which is a place right over here out off the galley, and the time I was there weren't that many people in there, so it wasn't that much pressure, but just the feeling of I'm not performing something pre-written, I'm performing something that I wrote, so I have no idea if this is going to work or not, and I wanted to vomit, but it went well. I would say Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room is one of my favorites. Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker, is one of the best. Dave Chappelle, I mean, I'm naming like cliche ones, but Dave Chappelle, Killing Me Softly, those are just some of my favorites. Dave Chappelle's new Netflix stuff is interesting, just because the last one I saw is when I decided to start sitting down, because I'm not comfortable standing up. I like to sit in the stool, and everybody told you can't do that. And then I saw Dave do it, and I was like, oh, well, shit, I'm sitting down from now on. So Dave Chappelle's last Netflix special is what actually helped me. Sitcoms, actually, I really love Seinfeld, just because it's probably the most real, where the whole concept of it's a show about nothing, and it just takes real life situations and makes them a little more ridiculous than they normally be. What else? I mean, I watch Friends, which is like the big one, of course. Chappelle Show is like the king of everything. I'm actually not a big fan of Key and Peele. They bore me. That's pretty much it. I'm not a big fan of comedy films. All of my favorite comedians, like Dave Chappelle's horrible in movies. Chris Rock's terrible in movies. Patrice O'Neal was in Fuzzy Justice or something like that. But to me, I noticed most of the incredible stand-ups aren't that great in movies, and then people that are really amazing in movies aren't very good stand-ups, with the exception of like an Eddie Murphy or like a Jamie Foxx. Those are like one of the few very people that can do both really, really well. There was one that Patrice did in his special, Elephant in the Room, where he was talking about how there was a white girl that went missing sailing, and they looked for her for like 6 months, and how down in Miami there were some black NFL players that went missing sailing, and they looked for them for like 15 minutes. And what he does in the set is he pretends he's looking out like on the beach, and he's like looking out, and he's like, well, that's the search. And then he goes, if I ever go sailing, I'm gonna bring a white baby on a keychain with me. And he goes, it's really good. Dave Chappelle. Definitely Patrice O'Neal. Definitely Bernie Mac. Probably Lewis Black, actually. Cat Williams, and damn, who else? Corey Holcomb. Honestly, I have no interest in anything other than stand-up. I love stand-up. Acting maybe, but I love the idea that you can sit in front of a group of people with nothing else. There's no bullshit to it. There's no effects. There's no nothing. So that's what I'm really passionate about. I've been doing comedy for 6 months now. I'm really ambitious, so I'm working on my first half hour. I'll be done with my first half hour by the end of the year. So 5 years, I intend to be touring. Pretty much Facebook. So facebook.com/Chris Robinson Comedy. Just thought. Like I like to be able to get up there and, not to knock anybody, but I don't have any dick jokes. I don't have any, like, I don't do any weird stuff where I'm tumbling on the floor. I'm pretending. Like I want people to think, and think in the weird way that I do, or at least see a weird perspective that they haven't thought of before. Check out my interview. My name's Chris Robinson. Check it out on QPie.com. Thank you guys so much.